And welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from the big island of Hawaii. It is 4:30 a.m. Hawaii time. That's why it looks so dark in here. But hopefully you could see me well enough. If you want to see me at all, maybe you're just listening. Yeah. Thank you. I love you. So yeah, this idea of I want, this idea of I want something. It's like thought is always trying to convince that we want it. And as awareness, we're not capable of wanting. Wanting is just for fun. It's a play of consciousness. That's consciousness manifesting as thought. It's like part of the show. Those thoughts coalesce with other thoughts, motivate action without any interference. All those thoughts just coalesce and motivate action and manifest as form, all for you, all for your joy, all for pleasure and awareness of who you are. But only right now, only in this instant. The wanting is just as much part of the show as the getting, but the show, look at where the show is arising. It can't come from anything but consciousness. Can't come out of anything but consciousness. And look, consciousness itself is something that's arising and also passing away within you. It's just for fun. Sharing, loving, kissing, hugging, playing. It's not for living a purpose. It's not for living a purpose. Consciousness has no purpose but to serve you. Consciousness has no other purpose but to serve you. As awareness, you don't have a purpose. You don't have a purpose in this world. Consciousness is providing the means. Consciousness is providing the means. Whatever arises in consciousness is for you, and you are the way. Like Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. There's no other. There's no one but that. And through consciousness, this can be demonstrated in the world. And the interesting thing, has become abundantly clear, is that I can't possibly know what I want. How can I know what I want? Even as a little ego, the one that thinks it's in a world amongst individuals, even as that little ego, I can't possibly know what I want. Because it's all coming out of feeling. It's all coming out of feeling right now. There's only this instant, there's only this moment of unfolding. There's not the past and the future. It's all arising out of feeling. And in the feeling of enjoying the play of consciousness, and you know, what allows you to enjoy the play of consciousness? Choosing love over judgment. Choosing love over judgment. That's the only choice there is. As consciousness, which we are, because there's nothing that we aren't, but we're also greater than consciousness. As consciousness in this dream, we have a choice. Love or judgment. Holding something against what's arising in consciousness. That's judgment. It's heavy. It feels heavy energy. It's good. It's good when it comes up. Heavy energy. It's good. It's awesome. It's giving it the space to be heavy energy. So giving it the space. It's all feeling. It's all sensation. Enjoy your sensations. Someone told me that this weekend. Oh, I know what it was. I was at a dinner party, and we were about to have 4 courses from a beautiful chef with local food. And someone said, enjoy all of your sensations tonight. And I thought that was so lovely. It's like, yeah, that's all the time though. Whether you're having a beautiful dinner and enjoying all the sensory pleasures of that, or you're, I don't know, grocery shopping. It's all sensation. That's what's fun. And it's all for play. It's all for play and fun. Nothing is really serious. There's nothing to get serious about. Even when it seems like you're getting serious, it's like it's fun. It's funny. You're playing a serious role. Okay, it's for fun. See, it's still for fun. You know, this week there's a fun experience where I got to go to Hilo and buy a washer because the washer that we had was just suddenly kaput, so to speak. And I'm like, oh, we get to get a new washer. Well, it was interesting because the way this day was lined up and scheduled, and I'm in Sears, and I go, you know what? Here's the deal. I have 15 minutes before I'm out of here because I'm not missing the next thing, which was personal training, my trainer. Like, I have 15 minutes because the guy was kind of screwing around, you know, he's doing different stuff, kind of like, oh yeah, stay here for an hour or whatever. And then I'm walking out with or without the washer. So all of a sudden the guy took me seriously. He's like, whoa, this bitch is serious. But it's still a play, you know. So and he's doing his thing, and the whole thing is very playful and light. But still he's doing his thing. He's getting me out of there in 15 minutes. Hang on a sec. I need to get a pillow and put it under this thing. Okay. So whatever it seems like we're doing, even if it seems like we're getting serious about something, like, you know, I was like, I'm going to be at that personal training. That's for sure. I don't know if I'm actually going to make it, but you know, in this moment, this is how the play is unfolding, and it's just for fun. Even the one that says, I'm going to be at that personal training appointment. I'm going to be there. Also arising in consciousness. It's okay. It's light. There's no stress with it. It's just a matter of fact. I will be walking out the door in 15 minutes, whether or not I have a washer. You know, I don't mind coming back later to get it. It's however it unfolds, whatever is necessary. whatever is necessary. See? But it's playful, it's light, it's open to different possibilities, and honest, and very honest. See, it's like the average way that might be played, or you might say the common way that might be played out, is blaming. You know, this guy's messing around, he's making phone calls and stuff and doing different stuff, and it's like there could be a buildup of judgment about that, and just holding something against them, and maybe a storming out because not speaking up and going, hey, this is what I'm doing. Then there's this there's kind of like a conflict that oh, that guy was a jerk, that guy wasn't doing his job or whatever, like a conflicted energy there, and it becomes a upset experience. Oh, I had such a bad experience over there. But it's all emotions playing out. Having an upset experience at a store, online, with a friend, whatever. It's just a habit. It's just a habit. It's a heavy feeling, and following those thoughts to make the feeling more, to make it more, to give it power. See, instead of just being that awareness in that space, which we are already. That's why it's effortless. We are already that a space of experience. I mean, nothing can come to us, nothing can present itself to us except in the space of our own awareness. It's the only place it arises. See? And in our own awareness, it's arising as sensation. So that sense of upset, that sense of conflict, an upset experience between people, or an upset feeling of not having what you want, that's what it always comes down to anyways, is really a habit. It's a habit of getting the feeling. You know, you might take an upset experience. Man, I went in there to get a washer, and they were just fucking around, and it took me an extra 45 minutes, and I missed my personal training, you know. And then you tell your friends about it, and you tell your friends about how fucked up they were, and get that feeling again, you know, just like get it again. Okay, that's like, and that's it's an addiction. Let's say it's an addiction. It seems like making it real is the way to finally get what you want. Making that real in the world, like it came up in the world, separate from consciousness. And it only comes out of consciousness. And what is consciousness? You might ask, what is consciousness? It's the thought of separation. Just the thought of separation. Possibility, a false possibility. A possibility that there could be a world of individuals, autonomous individuals, separate and apart. It's basically a thought of separation. And out of that thought of separation, kind of like child thoughts emerge and become form and look, feel, everything separate. But it's not actually, because it's only a thought. It's not actually separate. All the thoughts arise out of one consciousness. All of the thoughts arise out of that thought. But even that thought of separation is nothing without awareness. Awareness could say attention. That's a kind of like a power that we have in the world. It's often misused. Attention. It's like there's all sorts of information arising in consciousness. And where we focus our attention, like take the sight, for instance, take the sight. In the sight, there's all this peripheral information, but it's blurry, right? All you can focus on, all that can come into fine focus is a much narrower perspective. All that can come into fine focus is a narrower perspective. You might notice some movement in the peripheral, but it's not coming into fine focus. Whatever is coming into fine focus, that's where your attention is going. That's just one sense, sight. That's just an example. There's also hearing. Right now I hear coqui frogs, little frogs that sound like birds to me. They chirp all night. Yeah. But in the, as I focus on the coqui frogs, that's where the attention goes. That's where the energy goes. That's where the power is. So with thought, there's all kinds of information too coming in. There's all kinds of information available, but we're motivated to focus on that which is familiar, focusing in a habitual way. There's all kinds of other information available. There's all kinds of other information, but focusing in a habitual way on certain information that gets an upset feeling in this instant. See? There's limitless thought, feeling possible, thoughts, feelings possible in this instant, but what's focused on? Maybe a thought might arise. I don't know. What does that person think of me? Something like that. So that's a heavy thought. What does that person think of me? It's a heavy thought if it's taken as if it's not just a play of consciousness. See, it could just be like, okay, that's one sense. What does that person think of me? It's a sense. It's a sense. It's like the coqui chirping. It's one sense arising in consciousness. What does that person think of me? And the coqui chirping, they're the same. They're the same. See, it's only when it's attached personal something to it. Even, why am I thinking this? This is wrong that I'm thinking this. That's attaching something personal to it. Is it wrong that the coqui's chirping? Like, it's something arising in consciousness. That's all. It's just something arising in consciousness. That's what it does. Okay. There's nothing that you need to do about it. You don't need to try to heal anything. I had one instance where I was walking down my hallway right now one day, and the I said right now, and then one day, it's all right now. So I was walking down the hallway, and a voice said, "I hate my life. I want to kill myself." And it was like, is that supposed to be me? Because I had it was like, that's definitely interesting. And it's like, actually the response in my mind was, who dare? Who dare? Like, who's speaking? And then there was just, and then just a sweet elation, just a really loving, sweet feeling for that. whatever it is that arises. It's meaningless. All of it is meaningless. It's a play for you. For you to experience the joy of being who you are. See? There's nothing to do about it when a thought comes up and says, I want to own a house, let's say. I want to own a house. And the ego will say, okay, since you want to own a house, you're going to have to boom, 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 boom. Maybe you're going to have to work really hard. That's a common one, right? You're going to have to work really hard if you don't want to. You think you're going to get a house, buddy. Okay. But wanting to buy a house is a play of consciousness. You know, it's kind of like the beginning of thoughts that are coalescing toward that manifestation. It's almost like a premonition of what's coming. Unless what consciousness wants changes somewhere in there. Because you know, like I said before, maybe, I'm not sure if I said this in this session, you are not capable of wanting. That wanting is like the beginning of thoughts coalescing in consciousness toward something. That's not your responsibility, it's consciousness responsibility. It's all arising there, here, within you. It's not like you have to go out and do something. So then the next thought will be, okay, that means I have to work more. Since I want this, this means I have to work more. And then more and more thoughts will add on to that. It doesn't have to be believed. It doesn't have to be believed. If it's believed in the moment, okay, that's definitely the solution. That's what I have to do. I have to work more. Then you better buck up your will. You better buck up your will and do it. But see, if consciousness is allowed to just be consciousness and express as it does, you might find the action coming in that form where it might look like, oh, you're working so hard. But it won't be like that for you. It won't be like that for you because it's all this moment unfolding. It's all an energetic experience. It's all an experience of consciousness and the apparent doing. The apparent doing. How can you be working hard, so to speak? So to speak. Like, oh, gosh, so what? Stressful? What is it? Because the feeling of stress that comes up is also no different than the coquis chirping, the coqui frogs, or the sound of my voice. Or the sight of a table, for instance. Okay. There's no difference between that. So stress, the feeling of stress, it can just be given space because it's actually meaningless. It's actually meaningless. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything that you think. You could say it means that you're attracted to thoughts that make stress real. If you're holding it, if it doesn't feel like it's a spacious experience, the feeling of stress, that's fine. It's motivating. It's motivating when it's allowed the space. Only when it's allowed the space. If you try to use it to motivate yourself, then it's manifesting itself through consciousness. And that's not what you want. Unless you do. Maybe you do want stress to manifest itself through consciousness. Maybe you do. You know, it could be said that you always get what you want. And, you know, it's like there's a part that a scared, childlike, ignorant part, you could say in consciousness, it's also arising in you, that doesn't know who you are. The scared, innocent, ignorant part that wants to take stress and make it real as if it's something to get through, as if there's something that you don't want to be doing right now. That's always fun. The idea that you don't want to be doing what you find yourself doing, that's always fun. Because that's a habit. That's a habit. And if that feeling is just allow the space to be, oh, it feels like I don't want to be doing this right now. Allow the space to be that feeling. It just allows more peace. And out of that feeling, that's what the whole world is coming. The whole world is coming out of the feeling sensations. The energy body. What projects as the physical body is an energy body. And through that energy body, the whole world, physical body and world are one projection. Physical body and world, one projection from your energy body. From your energy body. So that feeling, I don't want to be doing this. That feeling like that. That feeling is what's projecting the world right in that instant. Experience that. Just experience that. In experiencing it as it is, just exactly as it is, there comes to be awareness in places that were hidden before, they were veiled. There comes to be awareness in places that were veiled. So consciousness can deliver more joy for your experience. More joy for your experience. One of my friends told me this week, Hope, I've been missing wisdom dialogues so much. I have wisdom dialogues in person here in Hawaii. And I've been missing wisdom dialogues so much. I have to work so much on that day. I don't want to be doing that. I want to be at wisdom dialogues. And it's like, that is your wisdom dialogues right now. That is it. It's like when that sensation, that feeling, thought, sensation, it's a fluctuation of energy. It's when fluctuation of energy arises in your consciousness. That's the what could be called the holy instant, as they say in A Course in Miracles. The holy instant. That's where habit meets awareness. Habit meets awareness. Haven't I been doing this my whole life? Wishing I was doing something else. Wow. And there just gets to be this space for the sensation and an appreciation for the opportunity to meet this right now. To meet this right now. It's okay. And see, in that relaxed state of just meeting whatever it is, meeting the I don't want to be here right now, I want to be somewhere else, whatever it happens to be, meeting that in this space, consciousness can coalesce and bring something new. Bring something new. Not something new that's the same as the old. Not something new like, oh, thank goodness, I'm out of that. I don't have to work like that on Mondays. I could make it to wisdom dialogues. And then another thing will come up. Maybe you're still going to wisdom dialogues, but something else is like, oh, I just wish I was doing something else again. See, these things need to be healed at the root before they're done. They get healed at the root. And you realize you always want to be exactly as you are. You can't even be changed for what's arising in consciousness. But that whole play is for you. Even the part that says, I want to be somewhere else, no different than the sound of your car engine starting to go to the next appointment. No different. Sound, thought, feeling, vision, all just arising in consciousness. Meaningless for you to experience the joy of being who you are right now. Any resistance to that can be noticed in the body. Any resistance to the joy can be noticed in the body before it becomes something painful. Much before it becomes something painful. It's an uncomfort. In fact, most people don't breathe into their bellies like babies do. They develop this uncomfort in the energy field that affects the flow of the breath. And that's just from believing that there is something to do. There is something to accomplish here. Nothing is even happening, and it's not going to last. Nothing's happening, and it's not going to last. That's the thing. Everything's passing. It's not a sad thing. It's a happy thing. It's very happy. Because who you are is not passing. And the true reality of which you are truly deserving doesn't include conflict, doesn't include death, doesn't include separation. It's just a dream. And in the dream, there's no need to relate as part of the dream. We are not part of the dream. We are not part of it. See? Even the body is not part of the dream. One dream. Arising in awareness. And their only awareness is real. Only awareness is real. It's one dream arising in awareness. Every energy body is projecting its interpretation of one dream. It's projecting its own interpretation, Consciousness is using the energy body to project one interpretation of a dream. See? So when it's recognized that it is in fact a dream, and that's what's going on, let everything be interpreted toward love. That's all. And that's a lot. Then there's no suspicion. There's no fear of the other. We can communicate clearly. We can communicate very clearly. There's no fear of what someone else is going to do or say. There's no need to control your kids. Control your kids. Because they're just all love. They just reflect love back. When there's love, everything reflects love. Like I said, the whole world arises in awareness. And awareness is the only thing that's real. So even our kids, even our lovers for some people, you know, the refrigerator, whatever, it all arises in the awareness. And when the illusion is just constantly being interpreted toward love, whatever it is that arises, it's just allowed to be interpreted toward love, the illusion itself becomes more loving, including all of the people who arise in it. Becomes more playful. People want to play with you. People come and play with you. Your family comes and plays with you. If you have a family, friends, whatever. Everyone can just have fun. It's here. It's here for fun. Consciousness is, consciousness serves us. That brings up the thing about serving each other too. Wow. That's a big one. I'm trying to serve you. Trying to serve you. I was talking with a teacher yesterday and she says, I want to serve these children. And it really like, wow, that's what causes the heaviness. This, I want to serve people. I want to serve poor people, per se, you know, something like that. It's like, those people aren't there like that. Sure, they can be served through you, but they can't be served. They're only served by consciousness. Even the thought, I want to serve. I want to best serve these people. That's also arising in consciousness. It's only the identification of it. Remember, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the illusion of serving people. And that happens automatically and abundantly, you know. Not through a choice of our own, though. Remember, there's one choice, love or judgment. That's all. One choice, love or judgment. Whoever we seem to be serving, apparently serving, is done by consciousness. It's done through consciousness. There's no one to do it. There's no one to serve those people. In fact, there aren't the poor people. There aren't the children who need teaching. There's only consciousness playing as form. Consciousness playing as a child who needs teaching. Consciousness playing as poor people. So they get, this gets confused as if someone is responsible for helping these people. As soon as someone is responsible for helping these people, someone who is separate from consciousness, there's some pressure. It's guilt. It's guilt. Look, people get served through inspired action. They can be served through inspired action. They don't have to be, they don't have to be certain. By inspired action, what do I mean? I mean non-identified action, as if I'm doing this. Oh my goodness, I'm I really want to help these people, and now I'm living my purpose because I'm helping these people. It seems really good. I mean, and you know, it is in a sense. It is really good in a sense. And it also makes the people into something that they're not, something that they're not, as if they're not only arising in your space of awareness. They're not arising in your space of awareness. Sure, they're showing you that, you know, from their perspective, they are believing certain thoughts that are making their experience thus. They're making an experience, it's making an experience for them of scarcity, maybe poor, don't have a bunch of money, maybe hungry, you know, those kinds of things. That is a manifestation of thought, though. It's a manifestation of thought. See? And as it arises within our awareness, even the thought of it right now, as I'm speaking of it, even the thought of it, and it's like, in recognizing what it is, where is it arising? Where is it arising? It's in the space of awareness. When it's recognized that it's arising in the space of awareness, it's not taken as if there's someone who has a burden on them. See, it's the feeling of someone who has a burden on them in the first place that makes the illusion of scarcity possible. And it's not really possible. Scarcity isn't really possible. An illusion of scarcity is something we can only make possible. It can only be made possible by thought. As soon as the illusion of scarcity, as soon as the attention turns to something else, where did the scarcity go? Where did that scarcity consciousness go? Say you are experiencing scarcity consciousness. Say you are experiencing not enough money, so to speak. That's one thing. There's like other things like love, health, whatever. All right, let's go with money. So not enough money. In the instant that your attention is on a thought about not enough money, that's there. Let's say it's present. That's present. Scarcity consciousness is present. Scarcity is present in the illusion. There's an illusion of scarcity. If your attention were to focus onto something else, like say you get really focused on rollerblading. You go up, you're rollerblading now, and you're really focused. Say you get super focused because you're going down a hill really fast and you're not really good at braking and an intersection is coming up. Then what happened to that thing about you being poor? It's just not there. It's just not present. See? So the thing about not having the money, even not having the food, whatever it is, it's a habit. It's a feeling, not having enough. It's a feeling of not having enough. And people get so used to having the feeling of not having enough that they'll have that feeling all day and support that feeling by paying attention to thoughts, giving attention to thoughts. And it's an unconscious attention. This isn't a conscious attention. It's an unconscious attention to thoughts that are getting for them this feeling of not having enough. Getting the feeling of not having enough. It's an unconscious attention. So, you know, how this started working in my own experience is noticing how I was feeling upset pretty much all day long. Feeling upset. And it would be like coming waves of upset. So I would just turn my attention to a place in my body, for instance, my toes, and notice how they feel. As soon as my attention turns to my toes and just notice how they feel, not because I just stubbed my toe or something, you know, not because they're calling for my attention, but, put my attention there and notice its sensation in my toes. All of a sudden, that thought process was stopped. That thought process was kind of cut off because it doesn't do anything without my attention. The thought of, oh my God, what if there's not enough? Oh my God, what if I don't have enough? As soon as my attention turned to a sensation in my body, that was cut off, and there could be a relaxation. All these thoughts all day long, they're disrupting harmony in the energy field, which is naturally harmonious. Naturally harmonious energy manifests as the breath being allowed to go deep into the belly. That's like one of the first manifestations of it. Manifests as an unblocking of all those energies in the core of the body that's kind of like holding on, to thought. See? Naturally, we're not holding any impediments. We're not holding on to thoughts that prevent consciousness from serving itself. Serving itself. It's all consciousness. It's all consciousness. If I focus on how poor I am, then I'm going to experience either getting poorer or working super hard to get enough money. It's all attention. Money is nothing but energy. Money is nothing but a manifestation of energy, no different than the sensation of cold air, for instance. Is there enough air? Is there enough air? There's certainly enough air for it to be allowed to be breathed deeply. There's enough air for the deepest breath imaginable. Only for most people, the breath is only allowed to go to about the lungs. It doesn't get to the point where it moves the belly, and that's a physical manifestation of holding on to thoughts that defile you. The way we take in breath is the way we take in life. It's a symbolic. So it's not about controlling the breath either. Just watching. In the watching, it allows a calming down. Watching how consciousness is using thoughts. Thoughts are coalescing, motivating action, and becoming form. What a blessing. It's beautiful to watch the play and how it manifests and how consciousness moves to serve itself. All of a sudden, all of the students are getting exactly what they need from their teachers. It's really true. Everyone's getting what they need. And, one would say, well, what about the people who are starving? What about kids who are being abused? Are they getting what they need? Well, you know what? No, not like that. Not like coming from that sense. As children, they're being abused. As hungry people, they're hungry. They're living a manifestation of thought that's painful. And And as awareness, they're untouched, absolutely untouched. The poor person, the abused child, is arising in the space of their awareness, which is the same space that we all share. When a poor person, abused child, hungry person arises in the space of awareness, it's just allowed to be as it is. It's allowed to be as it is. And consciousness serves itself. Just watch. Consciousness serves itself. It's all consciousness. It's all one. Why are people generous anyways? Why is anyone ever generous? It feels good. It feels good. But that's not generosity when it's some sort of bargain. That's not generosity. When it's done to get something for the separate individual, as if, oh, I'm going to help those poor people and make them they're in your illusion. It's not like that. It's more like watching, like consciousness is just playing itself out. What if you didn't see those people as poor people? What if you didn't see that hungry person as a hungry person, but as Christ? If you didn't see that abused child as an abused child, but as Christ? Then through consciousness, your awareness is healing. Love is shared. Awareness knows itself. When you look into the eyes of a hungry person or an abused person, and you know them as awareness, that's it. Even when the thought of them arises as a thought and you know them as awareness, that's it. Because to know them is to know yourself. To know them is to know yourself. And to know yourself is to allow consciousness to be as it is. Allows consciousness to show you what a joy it is to be who you are. So, hooray. I love you. Thank you. If anyone has any questions for me, please raise your hand now. Or you can, I haven't checked if people have been talking to me. You can also ask me questions. Oh, good. Okay. So Wisdom Dialogues normally isn't at this time of the morning, but this is really great. It was just, I hit send instead of schedule for my normal one. That's at 4 p.m. on Tuesdays. Was scheduling a reminder, automatically went out and said, hey, it starts in an hour. It was 3:30 in the morning. So it starts at 4:30. So here we are. It's time for yoga. How fun to have Wisdom Dialogues and then yoga. Thank you so much. I love you. So Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Hawaii time, wisdomdialogues.org is where you can go to see the videos. It's sponsored by miraclebotanicals.com, our lovely essential oil company. we have the most beautiful essential oils. We source them ourselves, and we have so much fun. And check it out. If you like essential oils, and especially if you know essential oils, you've been around the world of essential oils, you'll know that ours are, yeah, like that. Okay? And a good price too. So, yay. Oh, you're welcome, Anthony. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. What else? I think that's it. Oh, Facebook. You can get reminders on Facebook about the upcoming events. Facebook.com/group/wisdom dialogues. Mahalo. Until next time. Ahui ho.